Welcome to Learning Python with Turtle, Lesson 5. In this video, we're going to see how we can use the for loop to repeat a pattern in order to create a design, and we're also going to explore two additional commands of the turtle. So let's get to it. So I've gone to the Python turtle documentation online. It's a great place to find out about all the different functions available to the turtle. So again, if you scroll down a little bit, again, there's going to be a lot more things here that get covered throughout this video series. So I definitely invite you to visit the website. For this particular video, we're going to explore this command first, the shape command. Now, one of the things that students are taken back by when they first start working with the Python turtle is that you don't actually see a turtle on the screen. You see that little arrow. Well, we can change that using the shape command. If you read through this, you'll see that there's some options as to different shapes that we can change the turtle into. One of them happens to be a turtle. So let's try that out. So for this video, we're going to play with, or this example, we're going to play around with Alice. So let's change Alice to a turtle. Notice this is the classic. All right, and there we go. It's a turtle. Now, the line doesn't draw in the shape of a turtle. It just looks like a turtle as it goes through. And we could have some fun with this. We can make the turtle green if we wanted to. But then notice, this is also going to change the color of the line. So there's our green turtle. All right, so going back to our overview, we're looking to use the for loop to repeat a pattern in order to create a design. So I got a couple of pictures here. This is the ultimate design we want to explore in this particular example. So we can see here there's a definite pattern to this. There's 4 circles, there's 4 sets of like semi-squares. So intuitively, your gut should tell you, well, we could draw all these different parts individually, or we could kind of figure out what the pattern is of one and then simply have the Python replicate the other 3. And that's what we're going to do. Now that can be a challenge to kind of figure out what a pattern is. Now I've assisted us by getting another picture that really is the foundation of that design, which is this line going forward, then it looks like it's a left, then a forward, then a right with a circle, then we do another forward, and then a final left. So let's try to replicate that. So let's say Alice forward, and we'll say 50. And I believe we had an Alice left. Now, I would highly encourage you, if you're creating a design, to actually run it frequently, just to make sure that the design is doing what you're doing. So far we're good. Let's do an Alice forward of 50 with another Alice right of 90. Let's see where that puts us. All right, so far, not looking bad. We kind of have this little corner here. Let's continue on. I believe the next thing we had was a circle. So let's try that out. Let's try it out with a 20. Okay, not bad. Again, you could always modify these things afterwards. You got to think of yourself as an artist when you start designing like this, that, kind of run it, take a step back, check it out, make modifications as you go. All right, so at this point, we're going to have another forward. Let's see, we're doing 50. And I believe we had a final left of 90. And let's see if that gives us the pattern that we're looking for. Okay. Oops. Minus the fact that in the picture there's the classic. In this example, we're using the turtle. All right, good. So now's the moment of truth. Let's see what we can do by replicating this pattern 4 times. So we're going to say times in range 4. Now recall, the for loop ends in a colon. That means that all the other statements that you wish to repeat must be indented. So I highlighted them all and just simply clicked on the tab. All right, let's see if that gives us the pattern that we want. Okay. I would say that's pretty close, if not exact, to the pattern that we had. Again, you could always change a little bit more. So for instance, if I wanted to, I could make the circle a little bigger. So it takes up more of the space. Okay, well, that might be a little too big for what I'm looking for. So let's try 22. And this is where I'm saying, you kind of take that artist mentality of, creating a design, take a step back, check it out. I'm going to try one more stab at it. I kind of want to get that line to touch over here. All right. Again, a little bit different of the design, but it kind of demonstrates the idea of starting off with a pattern and then simply repeating that pattern. Now, I want to show you something else with this too that can really have a dramatic effect on the design. What if I decide to turn Alice 45 degrees before I even start the pattern? So I'm essentially going to rotate the whole design. Now again, when it comes to the for loop, it's still repeating the same pattern. But because I started the turtle off at an angle, it starts to draw that pattern, that design at an angle. Again, different things you can play with as you go through. All right, so I got a couple other designs for us to explore. So we're going to start here, and for this one, we're going to go back to Bob. So as you can see here, this is just a simple, go forward, a left, a small line, then another left, and then going up. Well, I can repeat this, and I'm going to use a slightly different variable too. Let's say just number in range. Just to emphasize, the for loop, this is a variable. Again, I believe it's in the next video. We're going to explore more of that variable and things we can do with it. But it is a variable. So for number in range 8, so we're repeating these commands. This looks like rectangle without the closing 8 times. And let's see what we get. I think it actually went off the screen. That's okay. So, but you get the idea. So again, an easy way to repeat, kind of like this pulse pattern. Let's take a look at another example. Let's just run it. So this one kind of just produces parts of a triangle, kind of up and down. So let's wrap this in a for loop now. Notice for this example, I also turned Bob over before starting. So let's do a for I, just another variable. Just realize you need some variable there. And for this one, let's do 3. And let's see what we get with this. Okay, so again, you can have a lot of fun with these patterns. Sometimes the patterns you come across by accident. In other cases, you actually figure it out. All right, so there's one more command I want to explore with you. And then for this one, I'm not going to go back to the documentation. There's a stamp command. And think about what the word means, a stamp. So it's actually going to hit something on the screen and drop down the little symbol that you have currently as your shape. So notice that each particular point, we have a little triangle. Now, if we wanted something else, let's say circles, we can change Bob's shape to a circle, and then that's what's going to get dropped in its place. Now we can have a little more fun with this. I mean, right now it's only going on the very last corner. If we wanted to, we could put the stamps throughout, so that way it actually gets stamped at each intersection. Again, that's left us as an exploration for you to try. So let's go back to our presentation. Let's review what we've done in this video. So we explored how we can use the for loop to repeat a pattern that's not necessarily a polygon in order to create a design. You really have to take the artist mentality when creating these designs and run your program often to make sure that the pattern that you're producing is what you want. Now, in some cases, you might actually produce a better pattern through trial and error. But again, that's left to you to explore. We also looked into two additional commands of the turtle, the shape, which actually lets us change the shape of the turtle, and then the stamp, which will leave a little mark on the screen wherever the stamp command is written as part of your design. So hopefully you're excited about producing different types of designs that aren't necessarily polygons, and enjoy.